This one is called Home. There's a certain magic that comes when you can finally breathe all the way down to your toes, when you can feel your soul relax into solid, into trust. It's the freedom of having your feet planted firmly on the ground, the grass between your toes, with every pore of your body expressing the light you've been holding in for far too long. Hi. My name's Abbott, and this is my podcast, Philosophical Laugh Lines. I have been struggling with my self-worth lately, with not having the job, and also I gained some weight while in community, while working at my last job, because I was eating a lot of ice cream and just like very stationary. I was doing Pilates every other day, but it was still like I was gaining weight. I've gained weight. And when that happens, like, I lost so much weight when I was in Africa because I got malaria and I was eating really fresh vegan food, and so I lost a lot of weight, and I'd never known how much space it feels like you have when you have a smaller body. Like, just how much room it feels like there is in your body. And the thing of now that I have gained this weight back, and it just feels cramped. Like, I feel uncomfortable, and I was just thinking about, like, what it would feel like to just, like, let myself be again and not be, like, uncomfortable and having that, like, how could you describe it? It's like it's like being surprised when someone views something good in you and not really also accepting the compliment. And it feels like you automatically want to contradict what they're saying if they compliment you. It feels like you automatically assume that no one's looking at you in a good way. So you assume they're looking at you with judgment. And also, like, I feel like specifically when it's body stuff, it feels like when someone compliments you and you don't believe it, it feels like you have this, like, deep secret that it's like, oh, if only you knew, like, if I wasn't wearing this outfit, or whatever excuse you try to find in your brain for someone seeing you poorly, whatever excuse you find in your brain for why someone would, or why it's like a secret, why someone would be wrong about viewing you positively, why your true self is something to be ashamed of. If only they knew how awful you are on the inside is always hiding. That thought is always hiding behind everything, sort of thing. You have all these reasons, and it just, like, keeps you tense and it keeps you tight. Meanwhile, if you I was just thinking about it, and I realized that I think when something's uncomfortable, and it's like an uncomfortable that just, like, looms over you, like, it's just beyond every thought. Like, it's just past every interaction. It's underlying every interaction. And I feel like that partially at least comes from not accepting this situation, not accepting what's going on, not accepting who you are, how you are, and what you do. Because I feel uncomfortable in my body, because it's more cramped, I am like holding myself in tighter. I'm not letting myself relax. I'm not letting myself just be, you know? And it's causing much more harm than good, obviously. And if I let myself have the feeling of comfortability, if I let myself have the feeling of space, of freedom, of beauty, then I would have that, like, reality would back me up. Because that's how it works, obviously, is you allow, if you want something, allow yourself the feeling, just on a license plate. If you allow yourself to have the feeling first, then the thing comes around in reality a lot faster. If you recognize the feeling that you're chasing, if you recognize the emotion that what you want will bring you, and you allow yourself to feel it without getting the thing, one, that creates a detachment from the desire, because you can see that you don't need the desire to allow you to have the feeling. I don't want to be so tense anymore. I remember this feeling so tense in myself and not accepting myself and my body the way it is, and then that creates a lot of dependency on other people's opinions. Like those will solve the things that are happening inside your head, but that's not how it works. It's from, you experience reality from the inside out. The way you experience reality is the way you view yourself. So I gained all this weight in community, and then now I'm without a job, and it's like I'm without a job. I have so little money. I feel like strangling myself for the past few weeks of just like not really allowing myself to feel love for myself or my life. Well, it's funny because I like oscillate between feeling like overwhelming gratefulness for the life that I've built here. Like, I have a fucking car. I haven't had a car in 5-6 years, like that, and I've never bought a car. And I, like, went out to the middle of nowhere, had a great time. Like, I've done all these things and then just shit on myself in the meantime. Like, I've made this life that I really enjoy, but then I don't let myself enjoy it because of all these things that I think matter so much, or I don't even know why. But it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to just like increase the suffering or like be the cause of your own suffering. I mean, I guess we always are the cause of our own sufferings. Brother, it is 100 miles an hour. Energetic placeholders. I just saw someone talking about energetic placeholders, and what they mean by that is like say you have a blue sweater and you see this new blue sweater and you're like, oh, that blue sweater looks really nice, but you already, this is literally exactly what they said. Selena Rosso on Instagram. You have a blue sweater that is frumpy, not necessarily the materials that you like it doesn't fit you well, it's never what you reach for, but you find this new blue sweater and you're like, well, I can't get a new blue sweater because I already have one. And it's like you're trying to make everything fit around this blue sweater when you could just get something that actually fits in your life. And like thinking about what you're looking towards next, are you trying to make it fit around what is already in your life, or are you actually going after what you want? And that made me think about how last year I tried to make this romantic connection fit. Like, tried to fit myself around it. Tried to fit what I wanted from a romantic connection inside of it. Minimizing my needs, minimizing my wants, minimizing myself in favor of the connection. I didn't even realize I was doing it, really. And then when I stopped, and like, she had essentially been 1 foot out of it for like 6 months, 4 months, yeah. When I stopped it, I felt so relieved. And I was like, why has this taken so long? Like, why did I try to fit for so long? Because I was the one pushing it. Like, I felt relieved, like it was like someone else had taken the pressure off. But I was the one putting pressure on. I mean, when we hang on to things that don't fit, we feel like there's this self that will fit into it, this self that we want to be, this self that we should be. And no one's happy in that situation. No one really feels good at the end of the day. Same pants, new underwear. That's how I felt, or that's how I was able to describe how it felt to come back from study abroad. Same pants, different underwear. Like, everybody was looking at me like I was the same person, but it was like everything felt completely different. Like, imagine going from like boxers to a G-string. And I'm thinking about how right now, specifically with money, if I didn't have a credit card, I would be fucked. Not fucked, but like I would have had to ask from my mom for money. And now that I have a credit card, I'm just like timing it and budgeting it so that, like, because I know I'll be getting paid before the next time my credit card bill is due. And so it's like I'm spending money and I'm like, I have this money coming in. This feels like a dangerous game. But I'm spending money and like reminding myself that I have money coming in, even though that hasn't been true for a while. But I wouldn't have had to ask for money yet. I would have just cleared my savings. This way I might be able to leave $500 in my savings. Ooh, that would be cool. This is in mid-January of 2026, and this reminds me of, or this month feels very much so like still, like the next steps are starting, but it still feels like there's so much shedding. And the Lunar New Year, the Chinese New Year, isn't until February, and so technically we're still in the year of the snake. And it feels like the last month would be like the biggest push. The last, like the things that held on. Ooh. You can think of it literally like how the pieces of skin, the pieces of, shed skin that have held on the longest, finally, we're able to let them go. Going back to the blue sweater, I feel like this also makes me think about how, sort of like the inverse of how I've talked about how I feel like our desires are divinely placed. And like whatever we want is what we're supposed to move towards. And it's not necessarily about getting what we want, but it's about like who we become along the way, who we become along the journey. And if our desires are divinely placed, then there's no reason, there's no reason that we would have to like fit or trim a situation where we're like sacrificing parts of ourselves, because our desires are divinely placed, and our closer connection to the closer connection we can have to ourselves is the closer connection we can have to spirit, to the universe, because like our capital S self is that piece, that's that piece of us that's a part of everything else. And so there's no reason, if something is part of your path, if something lights you up inside, it shouldn't also make you shrink. It should help you lean into the fullness of life and love. The times I've been comfortable in my body, I've lost weight. The times that I haven't worried about it is when my body ends up with more space. Almost like I'm stuffing away the feeling with food. And I keep holding on to this view of myself, this way of relieving whatever pain or uncomfortability I have and making my life work around it. But when I let it go, I have so much more freedom. When I let it go, I can see so many more possibilities for myself. Like I think of when I got back from Africa and like I just thought the world was my oyster. I knew it was going to be really hard, but like I just felt like I had so much space to be myself, and I feel like that's my blue sweater. But all this to say, I feel reminded of the fact that like what needs to arrive will arrive when it's time for it to arrive, which is nice. You don't need to stress so much. It keeps turning up that way, at least. I've met these two women in the past month that knew a lot about numerology, and were telling me about my chart and everything like that. And it was really interesting because I don't know much about numerology. I know, like, just barely scratching the surface. Someone else told me about it years ago in Peru, and I stopped texting him back. Sorry. But to meet two separate people across the country from each other in very random situations that, like, kind of reaffirm my mission, my goal, my hypothesis, my calling. God, this whole semi sounds so pretentious. I feel like meeting them, and also not being alone in my head. So many days alone in my head after my family left. The alone time was nice at first, but then I think it got to be too much. Meeting those people made me feel better. Made me have less fear, more trust. Because it does happen that way. Like, everything does turn out the way it needs to. You are always supported. If you look for that evidence, you'll find it. Because it's there. What you focus on grows. You decide what your life is going to look like, honestly. It's all simple, but not at all easy. I probably shouldn't be eating while recording. But it finally felt like time. Finally felt like the right time. This is probably the least amount of money I've ever had without a job lined up. But I actually have bills now.
insurance, cell phone. I have 12 days before my cell phone bill goes out again. And I'd reckon about a month till my insurance. On my finger that I fucked up last year is looking much less fucked up. Good news. Almost looks normal. I almost have a normal finger again. How lucky am I? We're not paying attention to the fact that it got fucked up in the first place. Excuse me.
I feel like through a lot of this processing, listening to it back and editing it and everything, I realized that I have been reconfiguring home in my head, reconfiguring my home within myself, and mirrored in reality, obviously, with reconfiguring my home and my living space, everything outside of myself in physical reality. So that's good to realize. I haven't felt this excited about an episode in a long time. I feel like this one was a really good processing. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And I'm excited to keep going. I'm excited to, keep this shindig in the ethosphere or whatever. Okay. I can't think of everything I have to offer by way of other things, but I hope that you're having a beautiful day, and I hope your life is full of laughter and love and worthwhile struggle, and I hope that you're learning about yourself more all through the process. Good night.